Well, hi guys.
Hello.
You can watch this program.
How are you?
We're good. How are you?
Hello.
We brought you some chocolates.
Oh goodness, you
Just
shouldn't
what
have
you
done that.
need, huh?
Hello.
Yes.
Good to see you. Good to see you.
It's Byron.
Yeah.
Byron.
I'm Bob
Yeah.
Jabara. He's my son.
Oh, I see.
There you
Good to see you,
go.
Barb.
Blog. And
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Bob's here and Bob's here.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Bob.
Hi, Uncle Lester.
Great. You're gonna have to fight for a seat around this big place.
Oh, this is fun.
There's one over there.
This is a lot brighter place, isn't it?
Oh my, we like it.
You
so
like that?
much.
Oh, and yeah, you get all that light.
Yeah, find yourself a seat.
Okay.
Because we're not
Yeah.
giving up ours.
Yeah, that's right.
Is it okay if I take pictures while Byron talks?
Oh yeah, there's one over there. There's a chair over there.
Okay.
We just enjoy those travel shows. You know, we don't travel anymore.
So you're watching the show about it?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Why don't you turn that off?
Yeah.
We don't need that noise.
Like travel.
Then we're safe.
So how long have you been moved in? 'Cause last time we visited, you were over in number 8.
Why do you take pictures?
Pictures. Is it okay?
Sure.
I'll show them to you every time I take them. If I can remember how to do that. There it is. There, I took that one there.
Oh, yeah.
And that one there.
Oh, we moved.
Okay.
A month
I think
ago?
about 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Did the Kidra people help you?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
And I arranged it that I would be off at having some medical job done, so I wouldn't be here. And sure
Oh,
enough, they just moved us over in a few hours.
well, aren't you clever?
Yeah. Isn't that the way you're supposed to move?
Yeah. Was it your eyes?
Yes.
And how are they?
Well, Mary, you would appreciate this with your eye situation too.
Yeah.
You see, we can get just as much sunlight here as we want. Really can get this side bright.
Right.
And I really notice the difference in my reading.
Oh, good.
I sit here, you know, with the light coming from the back,
Uh-huh.
and I really notice the difference. I think more than Elvira does, but she likes it here too. So we made a good mood.
Oh,
Oh,
good.
yeah.
Oh,
Great.
yeah.
Oh yeah, we're
What
both
did they
happy.
do to your eyes?
You mean not in the move?
No, while you were at your last appointment.
Oh,
Did you have a procedure or something?
they say that my eyesight is stabilized.
Oh, there you go.
So, have you reached that stage?
Well, I've been stable for about a year or two, maybe. It hasn't gotten any worse.
Mary has bad eyes, as
yes.
I do.
Yeah,
Like a
we
little
share
different
that.
problem.
We share a little different problem, but we share
Yeah,
eye aches.
eye aches.
Eye aches. Eye aches.
Yeah.
We were driving up, and I was trying to remember. Did my dad used to have a horse?
He just rode your horses.
Yeah.
I know he
I-
loved
let me
horses.
see.
Seems like he had a horse.
Where could he have had one?
Well, were
He
they?
didn't have it at your place, did he?
No.
No.
Now you had a horse that you got from the circus, right?
Well, get this
'Cause
thing out of
it
the way.
just seemed
Put it
like
back.
a trick horse.
Oh, put it back out of the way. Put it back. Yeah. I had several different horses. You
Yeah.
may be remembering. There was one called Preacher.
Yeah, I remember that name.
Preacher, and he would belong to a fellow over at Abbeville, nearby town, who had been in the war and had ridden the white horse in Astoria, Japan, when the U.S. conquered, I guess, over Japan. Of course, it'd be dropping the bomb.
But in the 40s, you mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
What?
dropping the bomb, and in when they rode over, well, this is nothing really to be that proud of, but it's when the U.S. rode over, essentially, Japan, he was the man that rode the white horse.
Ah.
He was a horseman. His name was Floyd Rumford, and he lived out there by me.
And you
bought a horse from him named Preacher?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, was Preacher the one that I remember getting on a horse at the farm? And for one of my first horse rides, and we went around the corner, and the saddle slipped off to the side, and down I went.
Yeah.
Now, was that
I'd like to have seen that.
That's bad. That is really scary.
Well,
that
yeah.
happened to Winnie once. Oh man, I was scared to death.
They puff up, don't they, when you put the saddle on them?
Yeah, and then if you're not accustomed to riding, when you go around, you can compensate for that horse turning by leaning over.
But when you put the saddle on them, you kick them or something so they let their air out or something, don't you?
Maybe.
Yeah.
See, I think this horse filled his lungs with air when you were cinching him up, and then let the air out and made the saddle looser.
Oh my!
Do they do that?
Can they do that?
I don't know.
Yeah, they can
I
do
think
that.
so.
I think they can.
I think it was just a trick horse. Did you get the horse from that used to be a circus horse?
No, it was this
No?
Rumford. His
Oh.
name was Floyd Rumford.
Just
That's where I
Preacher,
got
huh?
all my horses. Yeah.
Did you know any of your grandparents?
My grandparents, yes. Way back as a child, I knew out in Hanston in Barton County. No, it's not Barton County, but another county. They lived out there on
Was it your
That's
mom
right.
or your dad's?
my Avy, my dad.
Your dad's side?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe her name was Christina Avey. But I'm not sure about Christine.
That would have been your dad's mother.
Yeah, but I think my great granddad had remarried, so I'm not sure it was full. What
Yeah.
I mean? I don't get that. I keep that very straight back there.
So, what about your parents? Where did they grow up? Your parents?
Well, they came. Dad came in with my mother on the ship Silesia. I think that's a very pretty name.
It is. What does it mean?
It's the name of the ship that they flew from Hamburg, Germany, to the States on October the 2nd of 1882 when they came.
Your dad came over in 18...
And my mother on the same ship.
Did they know each other then?
Well, I suppose, they came from the same rural community in the old country there. So I'm sure they would have known each other as children.
Were they Mennonites?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were both Mennonites.
My dad was 7 and my mother was 5.
Wow.
They were just babies.
Oh,
Yeah.
so it was your dad's parents and your mother's parents that brought them
And
over.
that's what's a little bit unusual because there are not too many people living whose parents came over from the old country.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, you see, my parents as well as my grandparents came from the old country. Yeah.
So you're the first generation to be born here.
That's right.
Yeah.
That is right.
Uh-huh.
So,
Maybe that explains some of it.
Probably, don't you think?
so
We've always wondered.
did your parents go to school in this country?
Yeah. I think Mom went to little country school out there, and so did Dad. I think Mom got a little more than the 8th grade, but I don't know that Dad got more than 8th grade
You say out there, that was
in Hart and Reno County.
okay. That's basically where they ended up. They settled.
Right out in that area where we used to
Yeah,
play.
yeah,
Wow.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Did you remember, Uncle Lester, that Byron wanted to tape some of the old stories? That
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So.
That's okay.
Yeah, Byron.
And
Yeah, great.
now, and I was trying to think if you had any good old stories about my dad.
Oh, yeah. I imagine I do. Well, first, I'm going to tell you about, and I thought of this yesterday. Elvira has a sister that is 102 and a brother that's 97. Sister will be 102 in October. And a brother is 97, living in old folks' home back at Gossel, where you came from.
Yeah.
You
So-
came from, huh?
I was born in Gossel.
Yeah, so we get
Dad was
over
the doctor
there
there.
quite often, and there's not much there the way I remember it as it was when you were there, because you had a big house on the north side of the road, did you not? And then the hospital was over here on the south side.
I believe you. I don't remember.
She moved before she grew up.
Oh, okay.
I was
all right.
too tiny. Yeah, you remember. I'm going to trust you. You remember.
Yeah,
better than I
that's.
do.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
What was your maiden name?
Rich. R-I-C-H.
Yeah,
And your dad's name?
Eldon.
Dr. Eldon Rich.
Oh, yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
why. Yeah. See that I connect every time we go to visit. I think of that place where the hospital and your house was.
And Mom and
Neither
Dad.
one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because the old folks home, where we go to visit her relatives is just right beside it. They're here,
Aw.
and then there's there's where this big house was that you lived in, and then right south was the hospital.
Now, is the big house still there?
No,
How about the hospital?
no,
No? Huh.
no. Now there may be something there that was a part of it, but it doesn't
Yeah.
stand.
Yeah.
And then south, well, you wouldn't have gone to the little country school. It was just on the edge of town.
Yeah, probably Bob and Barbara were going
Yeah.
there.
Mm-hmm.
Because Bob is 7 years older than me. No, Barbara's 7 and Bob is 9. 9
Yeah.
years old. Yeah.
Now, where do you live?
I live in Wichita.
Wichita. Did I know?
Elvira, you remember when we went to his wedding about a year ago, or whenever it was,
Year and a half.
Year and a half.
in Wichita, and we sat outside in that nice gazebo area,
Oh, yeah.
and the duck, what was it?
The
Came-
penguin, I bet you're thinking.
Penguin
Yeah.
came waddling up the center aisle, right toward the,
Yeah, that's right.
yeah, it was a
Yeah.
wonderful wedding, and then we went back inside and had a wonderful get together there, and then when we left, we went outside, and here was the not the bride to be, but the new married couple outside, and we visited with you then.
Oh, good.
Both of you.
We're out there taking
Yeah.
pictures, maybe.
Yeah, and how is she?
She's doing great.
Great. I wish you the bride.
Yeah, she's working today.
Oh shoot.
Doing what?
She's a police officer.
Yeah.
Ah, oh,
Remember-
that's right.
You got the story now?
Yeah.
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 Oh yeah. What were we talking about?
We were talking about your parents and
Coming over here.
growing up in that area, and then you grew up there the whole time, right? And went to school there. And
My dad, the best I know of it, they landed in this very area here, which is 60 miles east of the farm that you're thinking of, where
Yeah.
we used to play.
yeah.
But that's kind of where they congregated. And my dad, at age 12, worked for board and room away from home. They were that poor. The dad, to get his food, worked, stayed all year at a neighboring family, and I've talked to that family.
Huh.
Can't call the name right now. Maybe it'll come to me. And then gradually worked his way west. Maybe he was 17, I think, or so, when he got out to about where we were, and stories of he worked all year for a family and they were supposed to get a share of the corn crop, and when the time came, he didn't get what he was supposed to. So he literally worked all year for his board and room.
Yeah.
Gradually worked his way west to Hodgman County, where he settled on 160 acres. There was the Homestead Act at the time.
That was your dad?
My dad.
Yeah.
He tried to take advantage of the Homestead Act. Lived on 160 acres for a while, and if you would stay there and plant a few trees, the land would be yours.
Yeah.
Well, he built, this was in 1898. No, maybe 97.
But your dad was only 5 or so when he came over, you said.
Yeah, I know that was in 82.
Oh, so.
But this was in the year 1897 or 98 that he was out there.
He was
living in a hole in the ground.
a dugout.
The dugout.
Yeah.
And he had made a little roof, tried to make a little roof over the dirt enclosure.
Yeah.
And the story is that the coyotes were so loud and the rattlesnakes were too many that he traded his equity in that 160 acres to a family for a pair of horses, team of horses, and came 100 miles back east to where I grew up.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Huh.
That's the story of my dad's exposure bad in the
Wow.
late 1800s, and
What was your
they were
dad's?
married in about 1900, 1901. I'm not sure which.
Yeah. What was your dad's first name?
Yes.
Gus. Did you have any brothers or sisters?
Yeah, I had 4 brothers and 3 sisters, and a little baby sister, Elizabeth, that died at birth. So there were 8 of us.
Who was the oldest?
Oldest was Clara, Sister Clara, then brother Albert, and then her sister Elma, and then Elizabeth, the baby that died, and then Linda, who died of breast cancer, Jim Dunn's mother.
Oh, yeah.
She died of breast cancer at 37.
Huh.
And then Eddie, my next brother, and then myself.
You were the youngest?
Yeah, I'm the only one left. Yeah.
Now, is Eddie still around? He's the one I knew. I remember.
No, he died about 12 years ago,
Oh, really?
15 years ago. Yeah.
That's too young.
Well, I think he was in 80,
Oh, yeah.
pushing 80.
Huh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's kind of unusual. It's a story that my dad never told about his moving from Hodgman County, 110 miles west, back to Reno County. because it was a story of defeat or, well, it could have been a story of romance. I don't know if he knew. I've never known if he knew my mother before he went west or whether he came back to see her, at that time.
But they were on
But
the
the
ship
story
together.
came, yeah, well, as 5 and 7.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the little kids.
Oh, yeah. The story came to me directly. Winfred and I built a new home on the farm, the one you were in,
Yeah.
1957. And it was sort of kind of a model. We researched and copied and talked and looked for a year or two before we ever got around to building. And then as we were building, we would be friends coming in, not friends, but someone else who was thinking of building up to see, what is this? What's this like? It was pretty modern.
Yeah.
And one Sunday afternoon, a couple from Kingman, which is 20 miles south of us, came up, and her family name was Suter or something like that. And she said, "Did you know?" And she told me the story that I just told you
About your dad.
about my dad trading 160 acres, which today would have a value of $400,000, $300,000 for a team of horses.